You guys hear my heater on?
No.
Good.
Got the heat on, bud? You cold?
A little brisk down here today.
No, it sucks, man.
It was even 0 degrees.
Shit, we went fishing today. I sat out in the sun for a while. It was nice.
Man, that's really cool.
Would it get to like 70 today?
68, 70.
68.
But it was like 30 something last night. 37.
Yeah, it was cold last night. 37.
Ugh. It said with wind chill -10.
Negative
Here?
10. No, I'm good.
Yeah, it said it felt like -10 here with wind chill.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll pass.
I was grilling in shorts.
That was your problem.
That was
Hey, Kenzie. Kenzie-R.
Kenzier.
Kenzier, that's it.
Hi, hello. I wonder if Riverside has fixed this,
Fix what?
What are you trying to do?
where I chat in the thing here and it actually goes, no, send a message to Riverside audience. Fix your,
Yeah, why isn't it doing that?
because
anymore?
Riverside
says- It says send a message to Riverside, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube audiences on mine.
Well, it's because you're a host. I got to get the login for this so I can also log in as the host.
We could all log in as a host.
We could
Mhm.
do that, and then we would all have full control over like highlighting chats and
Yeah.
layouts.
Yeah.
Blocking people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took that away on.
I block someone, Jeff unblocks them.
Who'd I unblock? I didn't unblock anyone.
No, I'm just saying, like, circumstantially.
Circumstantially, Jeff. Come on.
Yeah, quit getting in arguments with all my followers, dude. Jesus.
Stop having dumb followers.
They started it.
My God. This fucking guy. I can't wait till the chat has like 1,000 people in it and that he's trying to argue with 1,000 people at a time in the
And they're
chat.
just crapping all over him.
He just can't. He can't because the chat's moving too fast. And he's just,
My wife was like, "Did you get mad?" I was like, "But
Yeah, a little bit.
grinding some coffee beans here.
nice." Started
I was already-
drinking that Tactisquatch.
I was already kind of peeved. I mean, me and Whitney were doing movie night, and Sean Ryan just had to come out with his episode that day, you know?
Yeah, and it turns out it's all fucking fake, dude.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about there.
What do you mean?
I mean, homeboy who came on his show has a lot of explaining to do. But apparently, Sean Ryan went and did a chat on Twitter today, live chat on Twitter. I missed it, but I'm sure I'll get the snippets. But we can't do that on this episode because this episode is not going to come out until like February. So we're talking about it and unloaded on February. Oh shoot! What is this?
What?
Justin Trudeau expected to announce resignation as Prime Minister of Canada by Wednesday.
Oh, good.
Kid, do you know anything about that?
What happened? Was he found at a Diddy party or something?
Probably.
Oh, no, the Epstein list came out. Gotta resign.
Oh no.
I don't know, kid. That's the first time I've heard about it. Everyone's talking about it on X right now. Very doubtful. Yeah, probably.
Isn't he like Fidel Castro's like son or something like that?
I don't know.
You can't say that.
Isn't he allegedly Fidel Castro's son?
You're not allowed to say that. To the gulag with you.
I don't know. Charlie Kirk. Trudeau expected to announce resignation.
Charlie Kirk. What a character, that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
You know who Charlie Kirk is. Everybody knows who Charlie Kirk is.
Charlie Kirk is fake.
I like some of his videos.
No, he's no, not saying that like he's a fake. Like he doesn't actually exist.
Oh,
He's just AI.
hologram.
Yeah, he's a hologram.
He's a deep fake.
oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Sean
probably-
Ryan's live right now on X Spaces
Really?
talking about this. Yeah.
What's that? I wonder what he's talking about. Damn, I want to join that. Can I just go do that instead?
Jeff, you're our ambassador. Go to X and come back with the deets.
I'll do it.
Wonder when he's supposed to start. I just went in and they're not talking. So
So can you give me like the cliff notes of how all this crap is fake?
So people are diving deep into it, finding things such as like the but it basically stems off of where we ended the other night when we were talking about how that secure emailing system that they were using, how his stuff got changed. Well, it looks like he's having connection issues. Sean Ryan. And from there, they're able to look at like the timeline of things, and then they're lining it up with some other messages or whatnot that he's that he apparently sent out to mainstream media, as well as a few major podcasts like Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan had a few messages from him in his inbox that he never looked at, and only looked at it afterwards. I don't know. A lot of people are fighting it because they sound different. They sound like they're coming from different people. In the email that we had gone over during the last episode, he made multiple attempts to try to prove he is who he is, which is apparently a red flag for fakes. You trying to listen to it, Jeff?
Yeah, he's on right now.
Is he? Sweet.
Trickle in, but
Yeah, we can't really talk about it today though, because this episode's not gonna come out.
That's
anytime
right. I
soon.
have two halves of my brain, so I've hemi-synced them and separated the two so I can do both.
There you go, man. I'm happy one of us was able to do that.
He split brained himself.
Yeah.
One side is here with us, the other side is deep in the Akashic records. And then there's a little bit of it that's phasing in and out of reality.
We do need to do another emergency episode on it. That is true. Gotta wait for some more noise to come out though. I mean, right now we don't. There's so much shit, so much cloudy shit going on, and it's tough to tell anything right now. But did you guys see that new video that came out of the Cybertruck exploding?
With the guy moving around in it?
Yeah. How there was definitely no muzzle flash from a Desert Eagle. That's
I mean,
true.
listen, I could say the only argument I could say is that perhaps the guy sets the bomb off and then in the next instant pulls the trigger, right? Like maybe he sets the bomb off with this hand, and like in his mind he's like, I just have to make sure the bomb goes off, so he sets it off, and he's already ready to go, and as soon as he has that reaction, it just causes him to
That's a lot.
Is it though? I mean, if you're already
Yeah.
prepped, you're ready to go, you're locked in, and
Well, the explosion
you-
happens faster than the speed of light, so you'd have to
But
go
I'm
faster
saying
than that.
Well,
I
if
don't know,
you're
man.
prepped already,
There's a lot of real
Mhm.
sketchy shit going on, man. We're
Yeah.
being lied to about a bunch of shit with this.
it is sketchy. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate to some extent, I guess. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, but it just seems impractical, I suppose.
I don't think it's worth it.
yeah, for sure, it's definitely interesting. I mean, listen, there's a lot of crazies out there. It's not beyond possibility because it was a self-driving vehicle that they could have.
I mean, you
snatched
have all kinds of like
Mhm.
Green Berets coming forward and stuff. Basically, you have like two camps of them coming out. One camp saying, this guy is like, red-blooded patriot, loves America, would never do this shit. Awesome dude. He must have been in a lot of trouble, or got caught up in something absolutely terrible. Another group is coming out and saying that the email is a complete hoax, it's a complete hoax, complete lie. That they were with him during that tour, and that was nothing about what they were doing. The whole drug thing with the U.S. government, selling drugs to Russia and whatnot is bullshit, and how they said that they were supposed to be in and out with their whole flight group within 7 minutes. They're like, yeah, that's literally impossible. That would never have gotten a thumbs up because it's impossible to do. There's a lot, man. There's a lot of people that came forward that served with him. And they're kind of bouncing around both of those, how they don't believe that he would have done this, and how there's multiple facets to that email that are fake. But
Sounds
then
so far like he's standing behind what he's put out so far. At least that's what I'm gathering.
oh yeah, the you talking about the guy who came on as a guest for Sean Ryan?
No, just Sean. Like Sean's, you would think that if he realized that he may have fucked up or something, that the first thing he would be saying is that. But no, he's kind of just like
I
reiterating all of the stuff.
I think so too, man. I think a lot of people are giving him a lot of shit right now, and I don't think that that's well deserved, because Sean Ryan saw a great opportunity to get this information out from somebody that's not mainstream media. Because like if this information comes out from mainstream media, it's a lie. If it comes out from another military member, whatever, it's a lie. If it comes out from Joe Schmo, it's a lie. Everything that comes out is a lie. It doesn't matter who it comes from. But if you look at the possible sources of where this information can come from, and you look at the guy who went on Sean Ryan, it's as close to the tap as you can get, basically. It's
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but conspiracy minded me. I'm thinking of these quotes that these lizard people have said, things like, we'll know our disinformation campaign is complete when everything the American people know is a lie. And it's exactly what you just said, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just in a more like weird esoteric or psychological type of way. It's not like so straightforward, it's like everything that you hear from somebody else looks at that person and says that they're a liar, right? So it's like
yeah.
a little more nuanced, but is the mass psychological operation working when we all just can't even look at Sean Ryan and be like, no, this guy's full of shit, or he's not, or he's a Fed, it's a psyop.
Well, he was in the CIA, so
He's part of it, he's not part of it, he got caught up in it, whatever it is, it's just this whole fucking nobody knows anything.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll still listen to Sean, man. I think he does good stuff.
Great show.
Great show. I don't think he, even if it turns out that the email was fake, which I'm leaning towards it was, he saw a great opportunity to get out information from a source that he thought was legitimate. And
listen,
when Sean
it's a
Ryan,
great show. And he doesn't tout himself as the news, so I wouldn't fault him for being wrong on shit for sure. But
but even when he does do something wrong, he puts out those emergency episodes. right? He puts them out and says, "Hey, I was wrong about this. So and so told me to look into it better. I did, and turns out we were wrong." Right?
Yeah.
He's done that multiple times now. So, I mean, the guy's pretty good at admitting when he fucked up.
Well, I thought he was going to do that immediately in this X space, but he didn't. That's, I'm not listening to it anymore, so I don't know what else he's saying there.
Yeah.
But
Well,
again, like you said, if he knew that it was a fuck up, then you'd think he would be like right on it.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get an episode because he needs to make sure he gets it to everybody, not just X. But X is
Sure.
definitely the place where he's getting the most crap from right now.
Oh yeah.
All right, you guys
X
ready to
is
roll?
a crazy place, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're ready for whatever, brother.
All right. On June 25th, 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released an assessment performed by the United States government's various intelligence entities merged into what they were calling the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, or UAPTF, on the threat of UFOs that they were now referring to as UAPs, or Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, to the safety of the civilian and military flights in our space, with the potential of also being a threat to national security. This was extremely important and groundbreaking, as this represented a complete turnaround on the government and military social statements of the past on the very existence of UAPs. But what was the reason for the quick 180 change in position from blaming all of the UFO sightings in history on drunks and delusional conspiracy theorists to now admitting that they are real? They are in our skies, and they do possibly pose a national defense issue that must be looked at seriously. Authors James T. Lukatsky, Dr. Colm A. Kelleher, and George Knapp published a follow-on book to their January 2005 hit book Hunt for the Skinwalker, titled Skinwalkers in the Pentagon, which dives into this report and how it came to be. According to this book, it all started 13 years prior to the briefing on this intelligence assessment in the year 2008, where this authoring entity known as the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force culminated this report on behalf of the Defense Intelligence Agency, or DIA. This was the first time since 1969, since the 1969 end of the well-known Project Blue Book from the United States Air Force, that a government agency fully funded official research into UAPs or UFOs. The name of the parenting program of the UAPTF was known as Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Applications Program, or AWSAP, and remained in operations from September of 2008 to December of 2010, and cost the U.S. government a total of $22 million of on-the-book national defense funds in this time frame. Tonight, we look into one of their major stories that they investigated, the incident in Legal. Welcome back to Infinite Rabbit Hole. Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy, and today we're going to dive into the incident in Legal, California. Pretty interesting stuff. We'll dive into why here in a second. Before we do that, let's go ahead and bring in the hosts. Jacob, what's going on, dude?
Hey,
How you been?
real quick.
Mhm.
Does my audio change when I go like this?
Yep.
It does?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. Did you hear that can?
Yeah.
Well, that was weird. I muted my mic
Oh, that's all
and
right.
it still picked it up. I don't know why.
I can remove it during editing.
Yeah, I was just making sure it wasn't going through my webcam because I was like, that was weird.
Yep. All good.
Okay, cool. No, I'm doing okay. Went to church today.
Sweet. Good.
It was a good spiritual kick in the face as far as a message goes. When it posts, I'll share it with you guys. It was pretty interesting, but yeah, got myself set up with within their mentoring program. Try to see about working out some kinks that I've been dealing with lately in my life and getting back on track with my relationship with God and all that stuff. So it was a good, productive use of time, and And we went and checked out some of the ice fishermen, and I picked their brains about how to get into the sport and everything like that, and what's the kind of associated costs with that. And then came home and didn't plan on it, but took like a 3-hour nap, so it's nice. So it's pretty nice.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude.
Things are well. We had your brother and his girlfriend over, last night for dinner, so that was cool. Did cooked up some of the venison I got this last season, so that was nice and enjoyed their company. And yeah,
Nice, man. Good
here
stuff.
we is.
Jeffrey, how you doing, bud?
I'm good, bro. My house smells like freshly baked bread.
Nice. Awesome.
But too, right?
Yeah, Crystal's making bread. It's cooling. It's ready to be eaten.
Got yourself a bread maker?
So if I get up at some point mid-episode, I will return with freshly buttered baked bread.
Oh, it's not a euphemism for buns in the oven.
No,
Dear
no,
God, no.
no, actual bread.
Yes.
Little Jeff's running around. Little
That's
conspiracy
gross. It
dude.
would be
Full
gross if
beards.
my house smelled like pregnancy. That would just be.
I don't. You're a weird guy, Wouldn't put it past you. Get like one of them
Jeez.
fart scented candles, except this one smells like placenta.
Gross, dude.
Hell
Nasty. I wonder if my wife's listening right now. We've been there, huh, honey? That's right. Yeah.
It's so effing nasty. Kenzar's not a fan.
Should be right. All right. Do you guys know anything about the Legal incident?
Mm-mm.
No.
I thought you were gonna ask if I knew anything about pregnancy.
It's
No, I
interesting.
don't. Neither one. I don't know anything about either one.
It's
No?
interesting looking into the next portion in Ventura County where I lived for
Yep.
30 years and I've never heard of this place.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Who?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Old Jacob over here was stationed in Point Mugu, California,
Yep.
in Ventura County, right next to Oxnard and
Yeah, Oxnard,
what's-
Ventura, and
what's the other one out there?
Camarillo.
Camarillo.
Port Hueneme. Well, that's
Yeah.
a base, but still, yeah.
Yep. This is right in your old hometown, there, dude.
One of them.
Yeah.
One of my hometowns over the last 15 years.
So, go over what happened tonight real quick. We had a guest ready to go on the books, and they never replied back to me when I reached out to them. I was like, "Hey, you still good to go?" Nothing. So we were gonna have the owner of the Backwoods Bricks come on and talk to us about Lego things like that little Mothman right there that they do, or Northwood Bricks. Sorry, not Backwoods. I'll reach out to them and see if I can't still get them to come on at some point. But I had to rush an episode out. This was an episode that I had basically already mostly done, but it was supposed to be coming out after the Skinwalker Ranch special that we're doing in February, because the knowledge in that episode would have been pretty important for this stuff, just so you know the background between the groups and everything. But I kind of doctored it up a little bit by giving it that intro to kind of give you an idea of these teams that we're going to be talking about tonight. Just to kind of give you guys a heads up of the two teams that we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about OSAP and we'll be talking about BAASS. OSAP stands for the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program. That is the program where I believe it was in 2021. They had the congressional hearing on UFOs, and they came forward about military government funded research into UFOs. That's OSAP. There was another name that they were going by, which was a false name. Let me get that for you guys real quick, just so you guys maybe you guys know underneath this other name. ATIP. You guys heard of ATIP?
Yes.
Okay. ATIP is or was at the time of its first reference was a false name. It was a name that they could publicly use in place of OSAP. OSAP is the program's real name. ATIP is not. Then there became a program after the announcement of OSAP that used the ATIP's acronym that also looked into UFO stuff. And that is where you get Louise, what was his name? What's his name, Jeff?
Luis Elizondo.
Elizondo. There he is. Yep. So Luis Elizondo worked for both ATIP and OSAP.
Isn't there another one as well that I feel like I heard another acronym being thrown around in the recent. I don't know if it was in the recent hearing or if it was something else.
It was probably the one that I talked about at the beginning in the intro here, the UAPTF, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force.
It might have been that, maybe. Yeah.
That was
there was another one.
That was a specific group made from OSAP that specifically looked at these unidentified aerial phenomenon and their direct relation to military flight safety.
Yeah, it's so hard to keep track of, especially when it's brilliant, right? I mean, I don't know what military fucking genius came up with that idea long ago to just put everything in acronyms, and it's just really hard to keep track of what programs are underneath what programs if you're not like looking at a visual representation of it, right? Like some kind of org chart. If there's no org chart in front of you, it's so hard to keep track of who's in charge of fucking what when it comes to the military and the government.
I can kind of give you a verbal org chart real quick on the groups that we're talking about tonight. I just need to find what one of them are. Hold on. I'm looking
you should
for
fucking make one, dude, and screen share it. That's what you should do.
The DWO. Okay, so we have
check it out, kid.
The DIA is the parent organization or agency, right? The Defense Intelligence Agency. And then within the DIA, we had the DWO, which is the Defense Warning Office. And inside the DWO, we had OSAP. OSAP being the Advanced Aerospace Weapon System Applications Program. And through them, they contracted BAASS, the Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies, which was formerly known as NIDS, the National Institute for Scientific or Discovery of Science, if you're familiar with the Skinwalker Ranch story. So, a bunch of stuff right here. The big two that we're going to talk about today, the ones that actively investigated this particular event is OSAP and the BAASS in a joint effort. So when we talk about investigators tonight, we're talking about the investigators from those two programs. Basically, OSAP was the government entity from the East Coast, and BAASS was the civilian contracting agency from the West Coast, and they worked together to form the UAPTF, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, which was what got briefed at that congressional hearing. Tracking? I know it's a lot. I gotcha. Well, you guys ready to hear a story?
Tell me your story.
Or at least
story, man.
All right. Any questions?
I have no questions.
Okay.
Nope. Spell Elizondo.
ELIZONDO. Is that right?
Not even close.
Yeah, it is. That's it. right? Oh, there's no
As long as
eggs.
you
I
don't
just told
mispronounce
you, it's not
Geraldo
even
again,
blue.
we'll be good.
Whatever. All right.
Old Geraldo.
July 5th, 2009. A property in the small community of Legal in California's Ventura County was subject to an event that would leave 4 separate witnesses frightened and looking for answers. Buck Scarsdale owns a small ranch where he grows citrus trees in the community of Legal and was a retired police detective in the area with 25 years of service. It was, quote, "It was a beautiful evening," Buck is quoted saying in column A. Kelleher and James Lukatsky's book Skinwalkers in the Pentagon. The time was about 9:20 p.m., and the air was very comfortable when the family was sitting on the front porch, engulfed in a friendly conversation when Buck went inside to fill his coffee cup. As he approached his coffee maker, he noticed a set of what he believes to be 7 incredibly blue lights coming from 500 feet away in his orchard in the back of his house. Quote, "I immediately noticed 7 huge lights outside. That was just a weird blue that I had never, ever seen before." He immediately called his wife, Joanna Fife, and their son, Bo, into the kitchen to see what he was seeing in the orchard. The trio grew concerned that there was someone out there trying to steal some of their citrus trees using a large truck to haul them away. So Buck and Bo jumped in Buck's truck and began to slowly creep down to the silent light without the use of their headlights. As they got closer, the lights disappeared, not lifted into the sky or drove off to the back of the property. The lights just ceased to exist and were gone. The father and son duo drove around to the back gate and confirmed that the gate was closed and still locked with the padlock that they installed, looking like it was never tampered with at all. When they returned back to the side of the property where the lights were seen, Buck and Bo jumped out of the truck and walked around the immediate area with high-powered flashlights looking for some sort of sign to explain what it was that they witnessed. Then an audible and loud click rang out in the immediate area, and the men froze in their places. As they looked around to try and find where the sound had come from, another click sounded loudly from the direction of a nearby patch of bushes, and the men dropped to their stomachs as the sound was described as reverberating like a pistol sounding mechanical, like a pistol sounding mechanical in nature noise. The father and son began crawling over to the bushes in question to see if they could find what was causing the clicking sound when another shot off in a completely different direction. Then another. And by the time the 5th one cracked, they were running back to the truck as fast as they could and peeling out back to the house. Buck and Bo were filling in Joanna when they witnessed what they witnessed after they returned to their house when Buck's phone began to ring. Relieved to see it was a message from his brother Roger, who Buck considered to be a well-educated guy due to his doctorate in international law. Roger was letting Buck know that he was on his way over and that he would be there shortly. When Roger arrived, Buck filled him in with what he and Bo had experienced out in a grove of trees, which led Roger to want to go out there and investigate himself. It was just before 11 p.m. when Roger and Buck were on location where Buck and his son had heard the loud clicks. And as Roger was looking around, he was shocked to see a bright blue, gray, and silver light quickly illuminate and dissipate as he watched a large oblong object seemingly pass through the flash of strange light and out of existence, leaving a dark blue swirl of what looked like a collection of similar colored particles swirling in the area where the light flashed. Roger and Buck both took off and headed back to the house in haste. When they arrived, Roger was convinced that what they just saw was a wormhole of sorts and explained that whatever it was doesn't just happen. Another occurrence with a bright light happened 5 days later, a little after midnight on July 10th, when Buck was again making his way into the kitchen when he saw another bright blue light in the northern end of his pasture about a third of a mile away from his house. He, his wife, and his son stepped out onto the porch to get a better look, and the light dimmed down in intensity. This time, however, while the family looked at the dimmed light, they all claimed to be able to see a structure behind that light, that reminded them of an enormous wall. Buck and Bo figured they should go and investigate again and began to walk off of the porch. But as they did, whatever it was fully distinguished, and they were left once again looking at an area of their property where something strange was happening. Buck would call his brother again to let him know of the new event, and Roger would be on the property in about 15 minutes ready to investigate his brother's claims once again. This time, when the brothers had walked out to the location in question, the light suddenly illuminated about 300 yards away from where they stood. Their best guess as to the thing's size was about 5 feet in diameter. As they stood and watched for about 5 minutes before the light extinguished and whatever had caused it was gone. Roger claimed that whatever it was a self-contained light and didn't seem to have a source other than itself being the source that generated the light. As the two confused men walked back to the house, they stopped off at the 2-horse corral and attempted to calm the horses, who were acting agitated and scared, as if there was a predator in the corral with them. All right. So that was the first 2 events
So
of
it's
the
just
logo.
lights.
So far, yes.
Say that I'm going to start an intergalactic incident all you want. But as we've seen from all the things we've looked at, the world is a crazy place. And that's why I bought a 44 Magnum. So when I hear something crazy outside, which happens every so often, I go out there with a flashlight and something big enough to blow a hole the size of my fist through a creature, right?
Yeah.
I mean, could start an intergalactic war through my actions, but, you know, I don't believe in aliens, so whatever.
They're going to come down
light,
here and prove
bro.
it to you.
Killed the
always just
space
light,
prince. Oh
man.
no.
You know, I saw this video the other day. I don't know where I saw it, TikTok or some bullshit. And some guy took like a little battery powered LED and put it inside of a clear balloon with helium and just like let it float away.
Oh yeah.
And as it got far away, he was like filming it, and it looked like some weird. No, it was 3 or 4 balloons all like tied together with like straws or something. So like they just kind of like did like weird like orbits
Yeah.
around each other as they like floated across the neighborhood. I was like, dude, it's always some fucking lights, man. It's like that's probably what this is, man. Somebody's fucking with them.
That reminds me of that video that I think Skeeter shared with us, where it was that long tube white balloon with like the 2 flashing lights on the inside, and there was another balloon in the middle that took it up, and as it gets further away, you can't see the top one, but the 2 are flashing like like crash lights or smack lights on an aircraft and stuff. And I'm just like, that's so dope. Oh, Kenzar shared it with us. I was like, that's so dope. I totally want to do that.
That's it.
Just to screw with people.
I'm just like, if it's aliens, man, like I just don't understand why they just don't show themselves and like make themselves known. Why is it always got to be so sneaky?
Because every single movie we have is about us killing them. Like just like that's what Skeeter posted in the group chat, and the first thing I thought of was that post that I saw on X like years ago, where they were like, when it was Twitter, but they were like, you know, me and my friends definitely would have killed ET with hammers. Like, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, absolutely. We're like,
but
oh,
that's
gross.
anything,
Start-
right? That's anything with the United States.
Oh, of course.
It's like any movie of the United States is us fucking it up.
Yeah.
Right? We're blowing it up anywhere. So
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to listen on?
Yeah.
Well, the OSAP and BASS visit. On July 13th, the teams from OSAP and BASS would arrive to investigate the case as it matched what the book Skinwalkers in the Pentagon described as meeting the, quote, pre-arranged threshold for engagement by the programs due to not only having a UAP, but also had aspects of the paranormal with detached sounds, portals, and unsourced lights. But when the team showed up and stayed for 2 nights conducting field investigations and personnel interviews with the witnesses, they saw nothing out of the ordinary and left on the 15th. It was 11:45 p.m. when Buck was abruptly awoken by an urge to look out his window. There, in the northwest portion of the pasture, he witnessed two bright, glowing blue lights hovering about 20 to 30 feet above the ground and about 25 feet apart from each other. Buck responded this time by grabbing his cell phone and taking 30 seconds of footage of the lights in the sky outside of his house. After the lights went away, Buck called his brother again, and Roger was once again at Buck's house in just under 45 minutes. When the two men looked at the video that Buck recorded, they were shocked to find that the two lights were attached to a much larger object seen faintly in the background of the video. Roger wanted to go drive down to the area, but Buck had recorded the lights and faced the house with car lights on. Roger wanted to go drive down to the area where Buck had recorded the lights and face the house with the car lights on so that Buck could take another video and they could gain reference for how big this object really was. When Buck returned in about 15 minutes after looking around the area a bit, the men looked at the two videos side by side. But it wasn't the video with the two blue lights that caught their eyes. In the new video, two red orbs were seen chasing Roger's car nearly the entire time, and at one point, a tall and slim humanoid figure can be seen with its long legs being illuminated by the car's headlights. Under closer examination, the video would reveal that the book Skinwalkers in the Pentagon would describe as, quote, a small humanoid with a head, torso, two arms, and thin legs being illuminated by the headlights. This had Buck waking up Joanna and Bo, and the four of them stayed up looking at the two videos until 5 a.m., collecting all of the information that they could. Other than the blue lights, red orbs, and the humanoid figure, there was one other thing that was for certain. The lights from the car's headlights and the blue lights in the pasture were nowhere near the same thing. The lights from the truck created a tunnel, cone-like shape of light that casted out in front of the truck, where the blue lights on whatever it was in the pasture didn't shine light external to its source at all. The family finally went back to sleep a little after 5 a.m., and when they woke, they were all shocked to see that everything on Buck's phone, other than his contact list, was deleted. Literally everything from websites, apps, videos, pictures, emails, texts, they were all gone, and the proof of what happened the night prior was gone too. On July 23rd, another team from OSAT BASS arrived and began an immediate investigation of the location from 8:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. with a Sony HDR S10 video camera recording towards the northwest of the property, where they were told the most common area for strange events to take place was. Just before 9:30 that night, the research team spotted a total of 8 bright orbs in the sky that were moving independently of each other, but would coordinate at random times to create a perfectly level line parallel to the ground or come together in a close-knit cluster before spreading apart and moving off in their own separate directions from one another. This event only occurred for about a minute and was unable to be seen with the naked eye. Rather, the team had to use their night vision goggles to see the strange lights, and was the only event recorded by the team that night and for the next few consecutive nights. But on July 27th at about 9 p.m., something occurred with the Sony camera that they had set up recording the northwest portion of the property. A researcher that the book Skinwalkers at the Pentagon refers to as simply Investigator 1 notices that the camera was no longer on record mode and was instead on demonstration mode, a task that could not be done without moving a physical switch to the demonstration mode position. During troubleshooting, Investigator 1 discovered that there was a series of still photos taken by the camera of unknown objects. This concerned him and the team, as Investigator 1 was within 30 feet of the camera the entire time and was made aware of nothing in the area or anyone touching the camera. Shortly after, and just before 9:30, Buck spotted a large object hovering over one of his greenhouses about 300 yards from his house. As he was trying to give directions to the team where to look over their communication devices, it disappeared and nobody else had a chance to see it. But shortly after that, at about 10:15, a man they described as Investigator 2 reported seeing the same object over the exact same area that Buck had reported the blue lights being on the nights of the 15th and 11th. Investigator 2 described it as being 30 feet wide by 20 feet tall, with a curved top and sides that tapered in towards the top side of the craft. The bottom was completely flat, and it looked as if the entire craft was painted a matte black in the green glow of the NVGs. After their second trip to the property, the OSAP BASS team would submit a 257-page report to the Defense Intelligence Agency with several photos of unexplained phenomena that were captured on and around the Scarsdale property. Amongst some of the other evidence gathered were photos of contrails and strange faces not seen with the naked eye, and a report which highlighted a strange effect of power depleting in various electronic pieces of equipment, especially with their electromagnetic measuring equipment and portable soil analysis machine, which all have worked perfectly fine without these issues on previous outings and investigations from the team on other properties throughout the United States. All right. That's it. That's all of it. That's the entire story.
Creature right in the face.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was a person. Ah, prison. God.
So to talk about the legitimacy of this particular event, like I had mentioned there in the last paragraph, they submitted a 257-page report about this particular property. Now, everything that was discovered about this property obviously wasn't made public in the book Skinwalkers at the Pentagon, because there was a lot of information that had to get taken out. This went through the same process as Luis Elizondo's book Imminent. When he was creating his book, it had to go through a redacting process where it had to be read by multiple different military and government entities to ensure that there was no top secret information being put out. And all we got in the book Skinwalkers at the Pentagon by Callagher and what was his name? Callagher, by the way, was the head of the BASS, and Lakatsky was the head of OSAP. So they got together and wrote a book with George Knapp, outlining all of OSAP's work. And this is one event that they highlighted in the book as being extremely important, but yet not being able to talk too much about it, because this basically the gist is, when all of this stuff does get disclosed, if it does get disclosed, supposedly we're supposed to be seeing a ton of evidence come from this property. Yep.
The Moore says, we got any of the photos, since they talked about like 5 different photos taken.
We don't. The book doesn't have photos in it. Well, it does have a few photos in it, but doesn't have any photos to do with this particular event. This, to be honest, the more, I don't know if you were here for the beginning of the episode, but this was supposed to be an episode after another episode, as more of like I don't know, like you can kind of call it a
Follow up.
Yeah, like a nice little additional case that we could talk about when it comes to OSAP, because I'm working on an entire OSAP episode right now, and how Elizondo and Gallagher and all these guys, nice. For those who died, said me and Jake have the same hairstyle. I'll go ahead and pop that up there. That's cool. I like that.
I see you breezed over the part where he says Jake's his favorite. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I see that
Yeah.
too. Well, I figured you would want to read that.
jealousy.
A little bit. So no, we don't have anything, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. And if you try to Google it, the only thing that comes up with Google is the stuff that's in the book. Like there is no other accounts of this event. I mean, other podcasts have covered it. There's books that have now, ever since the Skinwalkers at Pentagon came out, there's books that have talked about it in reference to the Skinwalkers at the Pentagon book. But no, as of right now, there's nothing. But the way that they talk about it between Kelleher and Lakatsky, this is supposed to be a highly important case that once things are disclosed, we'll learn a lot more about. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's easy to sit on my high horse and just say, "Oh, this is baloney," but there is an incredible amount of information on the contrary to that. Now, is there proof of extraterrestrial life or interdimensional beings or whatever it is? I mean, as far as like them showing up on national TV and being like, "Hey, here we are," no,
Yeah.
there isn't that. But there's certainly a lot of information about just weird stuff that goes on in the world at a constant rate, it seems like. I think that you said in the beginning of this first part that the team came out to do like a 3-day investigation, but nothing actually happened while they were there.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just like, that doesn't even like. So Whitney and I, we had problems with our boiler, so we don't have a heater like some people do. We have a boiler, and there's hot water pipes that run through the walls, and they push that hot air into the rooms and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cost-effective system and stuff. But we were having problems with our boiler where it was making this loud banging sound, and it's super loud. It shakes the house. Like, turns out it's from the water pump. Wouldn't you believe it? We had those Hurlburt guys out like 5 times for hours, and every time they were there, it never did it. Where for us at home, it does it consistently every time the thing kicks on, right? And
Yeah.
finally, the last time the guy was there, he was sitting there messing around with it. They were sitting there, he and Whitney were waiting around. Then it was like, bow! And he's like, "Oh, okay, that's your water pump. It just got air in the system." But it was just constant. Every single time it kicks on, it does that. It wakes us up from a dead sleep if it's a loud enough bang. But it's like, but then they show up and nothing happens, So
Yeah.
it's like, it's not even the weirdest thing, of course,
Man,
It's like they know.
I have a bad history with Hurlburt. Not a big fan.
But it's like it's like the things know, the gremlins and the machines know when someone's there to like actually do something about it.
Yeah. The Moore said, "I saw one at the press conference of the Phoenix Lights." Yeah, they definitely looked into the Phoenix Lights. For those of you guys that don't know about the Phoenix Lights, there's basically 2 camps there. This was probably one of the absolute biggest incidents ever recorded over Phoenix, Arizona. Basically, these lights showed up in the sky, and there's one camp that says that this was one gigantic craft with lights spread evenly apart. And then there was another camp that said, no, these were multiple crafts all in formation. And then obviously there is a third camp. A lot of people think that these are just military skydivers with flares on them, right? That seems to be the most popular explanation for how it's not a UFO. But yeah, they have a lot of pictures to share. The Phoenix Lights is a well-known thing. We know that something happened, whether it was just people jumping out of a helicopter or a plane, or it was an actual unidentified flying object over Phoenix that night. We know something was in the sky. Something was there. It's well documented. There's videos from multiple different angles of this thing. Plenty of documentation on it. In fact, I have a book right now. I will eventually be covering the Phoenix Lights. The book's called The Phoenix Lights, A Skeptic's Discovery That We Are Not Alone. And it's by Lynn D. Kitty. Kittai. something like that. So eventually we'll definitely be diving into the Phoenix Lights. They do not have any photos public about this particular event that we're talking about, though. That is it.
I don't know, man. You guys know how I feel about most of this UFO shit. And I feel like it's all government contractors and governments. They know exactly what it is. They're doing stuff. I don't think it's aliens. When you get into like the weird paranormal stuff, I mean, we don't know what kind of like phenomena happen when you have like, anti-gravity machines around you, right? We don't know what kind of weird spooky shit happens, but I do think there is elements of actual spooky shit going on too, right? I just don't know that a lot of the stuff that we hear about is that. I think a lot of what we hear about is just algorithms feeding us that kind of stuff, and it's good for the deep state if we're all hyped up on like UAPs and like what is it and stuff. Like it's good for them if we're focused on that. So
Yeah.
they just let it ride and they feed that machine,
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I personally think that there's much more behind all of it. I could see it being contractors, especially in most situations. I do think that there is an element of unknown to at least a handful of events that I've read. I could totally see it being military contractors, especially in Ventura County. I mean, Ventura County has, like we were just talking about, Point Magoo, which is a Navy base. This is where they do testing. Basically, they have what's called a range out there where they have model craft fly around, as well as surface craft, meaning like boats and stuff out in the water, where they go out there and they try to track them and digitally attack them. So instead of using live fire, which they do use sometimes, they do use live fire.
Well, they have targets too. So the targets, they're like, I mean,
that's what I was talking about. The targets.
Yeah, they're not big like airplanes, but it's kind of hard to compare them. They're orange flying vehicles that simulate an enemy aircraft that can get targeted because they have a missile range out there. They can get targeted by the missiles and shot out of the sky over the ocean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like if a government contractor or the military themselves are out there to test something, Point Magoo would be a good place to go.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're looking for a rural place around that area, the closest ranch, where they're harvesting citrus trees, might be one of the more rural places you can go. Although they do have that mountain that kind of sits in the backdrop of that area. I wonder what kind of weird shit happens around that mountain. I bet you some fucking really weird shit happens there.
I told you about that UFO that I saw when I first got there.
Yeah, but you're talking about
right up on top of that mountain. It was super shiny.
I'm talking about the one that sits inland, not the one right next to the gate. Like if you're looking over Camarillo from Point Magoo and you have that mountain in the back, like out in the far, far distance. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about
mountain
out
ranges.
there.
You're going towards like Camarillo and stuff. There's a huge mountain range out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about out there. Like what kind of crazy shit happens out there? Because I mean, that's got to be pretty rural out there.
I think that's over there by it's like the nearest snowboarding place.
See,
I can't think of the name of it.
That's the fucking thing, man. It's like, why does it always have to be in some rural place, man? Show up in downtown Orlando, for fuck's sake, on a Friday night, please.
But if it's military contractors, they're not going to do that,
right? That's why I think that's why I'm like usually leaning on that as like what I think that these things are, is because of course the governments and the contractors aren't going to fly that shit downtown Orlando on Friday night, right? But like, super intelligent aliens from another star system, like of course they would fly their shit downtown Orlando Friday night because it's interesting, right? Like there's
Yeah.
lights, there's like activity. It's like, what the fuck are humans doing there?
Here you go, Jake.
Are you referring to the Santa Ana mountain ranges?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, see, that's the one that's right behind the base. That's what I'm talking about. That's Magoo Rock.
Yeah, this is the one with all the satellite dishes and shit on
Yeah.
top of it. This is the the
then-
Pacific Coast Highway right here?
Pacific Coast Highway is that right there. Yeah, the
Yeah.
number one, I think. Yeah.
And then, so if we zoom out, it's this shit right back here. All this.
So it just depends. So yeah, that's part of the Santa Ana mountain range. See how it kind of goes all the way down, right?
Yeah.
It goes down to the right of your screen, and it kind
Yeah.
of finishes off right there. You go up more north, and then you're going through
Oh.
like Grapevine and stuff.
Bro, look how close Los Padres National Forest is.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
went
pretty
there
close to
once.
Joshua Tree too. There's some really
Yeah,
weird shit that
I
happened
wanted
out
to go
there.
to Joshua Tree one time, but it was like gas prices were $6.50 a gallon, and I was like, all right, well, you know,
Holy crap, dude! Look at this, Channel Islands National Park,
yeah,
right off of the coast of Port Waimea.
those places are
What?
pretty cool. You had to you would have to take a ferry over there, and you could camp out if you wanted to.
Really?
Yeah,
I bet you there's some weird shit that happens there.
All
probably.
that weird shit too, man. It's it's interesting that it's always clustered in like these areas because you could find a lot of spots like this where it's like you don't really realize that they're only a few miles or whatever 100 miles from each other, and it's like in terms of airspace that's not very far, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of this shit happens like this, but again, it's like it doesn't really ever seem to happen in populated areas where you'd get some good footage and you'd get 20,000 angles of something wild happening, right? Like
Right.
sure, Phoenix Lights, I guess, but like what was that, like 97 or some shit? Like come on, man.
Plus,
Jake,
we have
you
on
see
one
that
of
right
those
there?
bases, on one of those islands, we have a secret military base. That's where my mom was stationed when she was in the Navy.
Really?
Yeah, San Nicolas Island. That's it. You have to fly out there.
And here's another thing, right?
like
I
a
live
tiny
close to
little
NASA,
airstrip.
bro. I'm so close to
like-
NASA, bro. Like the rockets light up my house and shit, right? Like the windows rattle. Okay. But like I don't see weird shit. And I look up, asked Crystal the other day, we got out of the car. First thing I did was look up in the sky. And she's like, what are you looking for? And I was like, anything. Right. Like I'm always looking in the sky because I'm always looking at chemtrails, right? Like I'm always looking for weird shit in the sky, and I never see anything weird in the sky. And I'm next to NASA, bro. You would think that aliens and shit would be interested in like one of the hot spots where we're sending shit into space, right? Like they'd be flying around here,
or they already
like,
know all
what's
about it and they don't care.
right? Well, that's the thing, right? Like they're in on it. If it's not the contractors or the governments, like they're obviously in on it. Like there must be communication and like treaties of some kind. Hey, don't fly around NASA,
Yeah. Jake, you see I found what you call it?
So it says
Lagor-
San Nicolas
Lagol.
Island is a military-owned and operated detachment of Naval Base Ventura County in Southern California. It's a major test and evaluation site for the Navy and is used for training and weapons testing. It has a tiny little runway on it.
How close were you to this Lagol place, dude?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, if it was in Ventura County, it was right there. Ventura County isn't nearly as big as like LA County. We've got Santa Barbara County next to us too. So it's basically from like maybe La Conchita, maybe all the way up there down to through Oxnard and Camarillo, and it ends at Thousand Oaks, I think.
Yeah.
So it's really
look,
not that
Bitcoin
big. as far
Depot,
as
dude. Did
counties
you
go.
see that?
No.
What's that?
You guys had a Bitcoin Depot in there, bro.
Oh yeah.
What is
right
that? Let's go.
there. All this right here, these are all crops.
Yep.
Like strawberries.
Oh,
and
it's
shit.
super rural out there. It was really nice because we were so separated from LA and all that craziness. So even
Yeah.
when like all the all the wild stuff was going on, like some riots and frustrations and stuff like that. It's like, well, they're not going to cross, 50 miles of desert on foot
Yeah.
to come get us. And then also we lived on base, so it's like, good luck. But yeah, it was pretty nice. But yeah, it was the only thing that wasn't nice about it was the prices, and then you had to kind of it was a hike to go anywhere or go shopping, go get groceries and stuff like that.
This is gate 1 right here, right?
There's a couple gates. Only one of them is ever open.
Yeah, isn't
don't
it this one?
think
This
that's
is
it.
this is where you get on the Pacific Coast Highway right here.
No, I can pull it, zoom out, and go up. Oh yeah, scroll back in. So go down.
The fuck are we doing? A Google Maps fucking
Yeah, pretty
episode?
much.
What, right here?
Yeah, right there. I think
Sorry to all the audio listeners here. Jesus.
Whatever.
we can cut
Sorry.
this out.
Yeah.
This is for the people
I'll
on the
just cut
live
it.
stream. That's why they need to get on Twitch, so they can see us. Well, look at my house. Look at my house.
Well, I mean, I didn't really have anything set up, man. We had a guest that was supposed to come on today,
Right.
and got blown off.
That's all
So-
good, bro.
Wait.
Shit happens,
Yeah, where are we
man.
going on a road trip to?
You know, Florida, motherfuckers, come down here.
No,
Man.
I came up there. I
I've been
came
to
up there.
Florida.
Come down here.
I've spent
pro-
too much time in Florida.
Look, I sent you guys that nice picture where I was out by the water today. You guys were like, it's fucking cold up here. Why don't you guys come down here, man?
Send me a picture
I
of
wanna go ice
Bigfoot
fishing.
out there, and I'll be
Yeah.
there.
Coming out. We can wear shorts and flip flops tomorrow. We can wear a fucking tank top and just chill. We can go out to the water, go fishing, and get in the water. Crystal had water shoes. She was in the fucking water today. It's all good.
Wow.
I'm not a water guy.
I'm not a jellyfish guy, and those are in
You guys
salt water.
fucking whack.
Tell you what,
Alright.
though, if you find some place where we could go get an alligator gar, I mean, shoot, I'll be there next weekend.
Oh, I can get you there. I can get you on alligator guard in fucking no time, dude. Remember we used to take the canoe down the river over there? And there was big ones, dude. Big ones like this. They'd come right up to the canoe and then they'd realize the canoe's right there and be like, oh shit, and splash us. And we'd be like, oh fuck.
No, but I want like bank ones so we can pull it up onto the bank and then like get it with a shotgun and then
You
take it
can
home
do
and
that.
eat it.
You could do that
Yeah.
with a gator too.
Let's go gator hunting. I'm down.
You gotta get a
Ga-
tag for that.
gator
though.
nuggets
And it's a
are good.
lottery.
Is there really?
Yeah, it's a lottery to get the
I thought,
tag, which is
I
kind
thought they bred like rats. Like you just go out there and grab one and throw it in the back of your truck and then throw it through.
They
a
do
driveway
breed
window.
like rats, but they're protected still, so to some degree. Now pythons, we can go get some pythons, dude. Those are invasive. We can go fucking hunt 30-foot pythons out here.
All right.
Mm. I'm not
Then
going
we'll
anywhere
bring it home
where a
for
python
Jeremy.
exists. That's not happening. Fuck that.
Or iguana. You can go hunting for iguanas too, and there's some big ones out here.
Yeah. When I was out in Key West, I was drunkenly walking around base at like 6 o'clock in the morning on the weekend, and there was a bunch of like 6 foot long iguanas, and they were flicking the volleyballs around in the volleyball area on base. They were like flicking them with their tails, and they'd roll and they'd go over to it. I'd never seen that before. I stood there staring at them for like an hour watching them.
Hell yeah, we got some good ghost hunting down here too, Skeeter. We got a whole fucking town that's like the most haunted town in Florida, apparently.
I mean, we'll be down there, or at least I'll be down there at some point. I mean, I go visit my dad. He lives in St. Petersburg. It's only 3 or 4 hours away from you, right?
Yeah, 2.5.
So I'll be down there at some point.
You got a guest bedroom?
My dad?
I do.
Oh, him?
So I can crash with you guys?
The room I'm sitting in, the podcast studio.
Better not smell like pregnancy in there.
I'm
Tell you
gonna-
what.
I'm gonna reset.
Better smell like fresh baked bread.
I'm gonna change all your settings.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna turn his bunny mask around backwards.
Yeah.
He's gonna think the ghost did it.
I'm gonna put lipstick on it.
Sick.
Sorry, I don't really have much else, man. That's
That's cool. That's an
That's pretty
hour.
much
We've been
it.
at it an hour.
all right. Well,
You did it.
I hope you
Congratulations.
guys enjoyed that last minute episode on something that we don't have a lot of details on. That's all right. Well, Thanks to everybody that showed up in the chat. I do appreciate you hanging out with us one more time. We'll see you. I don't know what we have for next week. What do we have next week? Hold on.
No, you're the guy for it.
What do we have?
What's up with this Black Widow on your shirt? You join a gang or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have anything next week. Oh, we're supposed to have somebody on.
Carter?
No. That's right. The Moore's coming on.
Uh-oh.
He's gonna come on and talk about 9/11.
The Moore's
Huh?
coming on. Yeah, that's right.
The Moore, you're good? You still
we
want
talked
to do
about
that?
9/11. I didn't know. I thought was it 9/11? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll probably end up talking about all kinds of crazy shit, to be
All right.
honest with you.
We'll just make it a
Probably.
conspiracy episode. Let's talk about crazy fucking conspiracies.
Hell
Sound
yeah.
good?
As long as the Moore denies all of them. Every time we bring up a conspiracy, he's gonna be like, "No, it's fake."
I'm just excited because for once I won't be outnumbered on something, right? Because it seems like anytime we get into like shit that's like kind of like off script episodes, right? Like it becomes this thing where it's like Jeff versus everyone, and I have to convince everyone that fucking chemtrails are real, which I did, which I
don't know if-
fucking did.
I don't know if you're. I mean,
Don't-
but it goes
don't
hand in
bullshit
hand
me.
because when we were
Don't
talking
bullshit me,
about
boy.
the
We'll
Stone
do it
Age
again.
theory, we were ganging up on Jeremy. So I mean,
Yeah.
Do it again. No, we weren't ganging up on Jeremy.
Yeah, you
oh,
were.
we were.
ganging up on you.
No, Jeff, you went crazy.
Yeah.
No, we were ganging up on you.
When I was editing it, I cried.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
I felt so ganged up on
I was
every
like,
single time. Jeff's like, I agree with Jake to an extent.
I was
gang
right
me.
in that episode too. I don't remember what we talked about, but I was right there.
I brain dumped every episode the second we hit stop.
Yeah, the Moore's got my back. I appreciate that.
The more I'm gonna have to get your contact info. Jeff, could you get that for me?
You still got your Discord?
I don't know.
I'll get other contact info. Hey, the more shoot me a message on Discord of another way I can get a hold of you because this clown doesn't have Discord.
Give me
All right.
an email. That way I can
We had
send
Discord. We just didn't do anything.
I
with
know you
it.
got
We
some kind of
deleted
email. You got fucking dark web email address or some shit.
it.
I just need something to send an invite to. And we record on Riverside, so if you can get that, do you have to create an account on Riverside to be able to guess?
No, I think you just click the link and then just ask to use your camera and shit like that. Now, if you want the best experience, you download the fucking app or whatever, but that's up to you if you want to do that.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's actually really easy. The Riverside makes it all really simple.
What's another company getting all your data? Fuck it. I mean, shit, you know?
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Next thing you know, they'll be taking blood samples from you.
Right?
And they already got mine because I did
Whatever,
the DNA
bro.
test thing. So
They've already got the data. They're getting it on the millimeter wave technology. They're X-raying all of us all day, every day with 5G technology. But
somewhere out there right now, they're cloning a copy of me with this crappy, terrible hairline.
Yeah.
And I saw what you said. Receding, says the bald guy. Old Dr. Phil over there.
Well, let's cool. Yeah. All right. So we got the Moore coming on Sunday, the 12th, and then we have Kenny Irish coming on Tuesday, the 14th. And then Denver Michaels coming on the 19th. And then I gotta start filling in some more guest spots.
You keep saying Kenny Irish, and I keep thinking
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers, bro.
All right.
Fuck yeah.
Well, that's it, everybody. That's it. You
Bye.
guys, have yourselves a good night. Thanks for stopping by.
All right. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.